The 2023 summer box office seeing a 2% dip compared to last year as it accumulates $1.8 billion since May. But there may still be hope for a bounce back after a few tentpole missteps so far this summer. Here to discuss is Gitesh Pandya, editor of BoxOfficeGuru.com. Gitesh, Indiana Jones was supposed to be the big one that got things going. Wasn't exactly the case.
Right. Well,
what do you make? What do you make of the tepid reaction we have seen so far?
Well, look, just like Harrison Ford, the brand is getting older, and not everybody's there, not all the fans are there. The film opened over the weekend with about $60 million. By comparison, the last Indiana Jones film did over $100 million opening weekend. So the gross was down 40%, and that was 15 years ago. So if you look at ticket prices today, about 60% smaller audience came out. That's less than half the number of people came out for this new film. Now, it's a better film. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull from 2018 was not that good of a film. I think that hurt the brand a bit. Also, Steven Spielberg did not direct this new movie. I think that hurt a little bit as well with the hardcore fans. And also, they had a world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. Very risky move to do this and show it to very, very snooty media a month before the release of the film. Mixed reviews, tepid reviews, so that really put a damper on things as well. It did do pretty well on Monday and Tuesday, so over the 5 days going into today's business, it's up at about $84 million, but definitely less than what was hoped for such an expensive movie.
Well, Gitesh, you point to the fact that this is a very old franchise, more than 40 years old. Can we conclude, or maybe this is just a one-off type of scenario, that the legacy sequels, which we have seen become more and more popular, is that a bit overdone at this point?
I think it really depends on how the film is made and how well it is. Remember, just 1 year ago, we had a Top Gun Maverick film. First time since 1986. People said, well, who wants this? And it was a mega blockbuster here and around the world. So it really depends on what the film is, how it's made. And this one with Indiana Jones, I thought it was a good film overall, but not a great film.
Gitesh, I'm in the camp that I was surprised to see how well Top Gun did last year. But to your point, maybe it is just all about the content. If you think about what we have seen so far in terms of performance at the box office, does this say anything about just enthusiasm around the theaters, or is it really just about the content and the fact that people just aren't as excited about what's come out so far?
Well, it's really about reducing risk, and that's what a lot of businesses are about, and the movie box office is no different. If you look at the highest grossing films, they tend to be brands, sequels, movies where the audience knows I'm paying the record amount of money per ticket. I want to make sure I'm getting something good and entertaining for my money. So that's why you see all these big franchise movies and different kinds of IP make the most money, and original films are having a much harder time because also the habits have changed over the pandemic. People are streaming more, people are watching things at home more, and so you're seeing this sort of dichotomy where original content thrives at home and the sequels and the brands thrive at the box office. And we have to see as the year goes forward, can major original films still pull in a large box office?
Gitesh, what do you think the remainder of the summer is going to look like? We do have Oppenheimer, which is one of the most highly anticipated films. Barbie, we've been talking so much about that. Mission Impossible, pointing to that legacy side of it. Are one of those going to be a huge hit?
Well, I think July is going to be very good. I think the problem with June is that you had too many big films squished up together right on top of each other. In July and August, we'll see some more space. And so these movies have more breathing room. So you have opening this weekend, Joyride is an R-rated comedy. I think that might do pretty well. It's a smaller film. But then a week after that, you have Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. That tells you there's going to be a Part 2 next year. But I've seen Mission Impossible. It's a terrific film. It's a great summer action movie. It just hit on Rotten Tomatoes today at about 98%. So all the critics are loving it. And the last Mission Impossible movie was the highest grossing one yet, almost $800 million worldwide. So this is going to keep it going. People still like this brand, this franchise. That's going to be really hitting it out of the park. However, for the rest of the summer, it's going to be a little bit of crickets because you don't have too many big hits, except, of course, for one weekend after Mission Impossible, you've got Barbie, which is really red hot. I think it's going to overperform, do very well here and around the world. And also Oppenheimer will do less business, but still strong male skewing business with that sort of Christopher Nolan audience. So room for both of them to survive.
I mean, Barbie's marketing budget alone has been incredible to watch. Gitesh, you mentioned all the blockbusters that we're expecting this summer, but any sleeper hits that you've got your eye on?
Well, for the summer, I think it's going to be very much about the brands. I mean, Barbie, I wouldn't call it a sleeper hit, but everyone I'm talking to is really excited about it. I think it's going to play broader than people think, and so the grosses will be do very well. But as far as the rest of the year, I think we do have some films coming up which will kind of break out a bit. So one film coming up, we have to wait until October. This is the new Martin Scorsese film. Now, he's back with a new film. It did premiere at Cannes. Now, the reviews, unlike with Indiana Jones, out of Cannes, the reviews were fantastic. I think it's something like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's doing very well. The trailer just came out today, and it's got an interesting release. Paramount Pictures will release it in theaters the traditional way, and because it's such a big budget film, you've got Apple TV Plus involved, and they've got deep pockets. They're the streaming partner. They will take it onto streaming soon after the theatrical release, so everyone can see it. But it's based on the book. You've got Leonardo DiCaprio, you've got Robert De Niro. Scorsese has done multiple films with both of these actors, and so the first time he's bringing them two together under the same roof. I think that gets a lot of excitement. Oscar buzz will be there. I'm assuming it's a good film. I haven't seen it yet, but if it has good word of mouth, this could be one of the only original movies that can be a big box office hit this coming fall.
Yeah, really high expectations running on that one. Gitesh Pandya with Box Office Guru, editor there. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.